To outside the wastelands. You have reached Harbor Village. Entry. To the bridge. You have reached Harbor Village. Bridge. Hidden passage. You have reached northeast exit. You have reached village east, southwest to the secret passage. You have reached village to the main road. You have reached to the villagers' houses. You have reached to the wharf. You have reached to the villager, to the speedboat. You have reached speedboat inside. To the cliffs. You have reached cliff path. To the speedboat, to the coast, to the hidden cave, to the plains. You have reached path to cliffs, to the cliffs. You have reached cliff path, to the speedboat, to the coast, to the hidden. You have reached to the chemistry, to the cliff path. You have to the hidden cave, to the plains. You have reached path to cliffs, to the cliffs, to the hills. You have reached hills. Saving point. You saved the game. To the plains. East. Elian steps forward and marches through the plains until he and the creature are in front of each other. Only a few meters separate the two. For some reason, he behaves in a less aggressive way this time. The sun is above in the sky. At least the creatures of the night won't interfere in this battle. You have reached plains, east. Rocks. Some rocks emerge among the grass. Too low to have a strategic value in this battle. Some rock. Skull. There's just a skull without the rest of the body. No reason to spend more time on it. There's just the creature. To the hills. The creature. To the hills. Elian won't go back this time. This ends here and now. The creature. Elian takes another step forward. His enemy calls the race of Elian by name and approaches. Elian prepares for the last battle against him. This time he won't try to escape. He will fight to win, or he will die trying. The battle begins. battle ends. The battle lasts for a long time. Elian is tired, but the enemy doesn't even have a bruise. Elian rushes forward for another barrage, but suddenly something with an undefined shape arrives with incredible speed and grabs Elian. It makes an incredible leap which covers hundreds of meters. It stops right on top of a bunch of ruins. Elian barely manages to understand what happened. He's above the ruins of an old palace, at some distance above the ground. Next to Elian, there's the guy he was searching for. Considering the impressive stunt he just pulled, he must be on Elian's side. He takes off his hood. His very long and silver hair catches Elian's attention. Maybe he's albino. His noble traits emphasize the fact that he's not an ordinary person, and probably not even a human. He introduces himself to Elian with an archaic speech. He's Alucard, a Dampier like Elian, and he's going to help him to defeat the anti-Nomen. You have reached Plains, Ruins. To the plain, Alucard. To the plains, west. Elian wants to talk to Alucard. There's so much he wants to ask him. Alucard, plains. The creature is still there. He's hundreds of meters in the distance. Just how did Alucard manage to do such a thing? He's coming towards them. Sooner or later he will arrive. You open battle game progression 97%. You're back in the map. Ruins. Those are not the ruins of an ordinary house, but Elian wouldn't call it a manor. Something in between, perhaps. Plains. The creature is ruin. Those are to the plains. Alucard. Elian wants to talk. Alucard. Elian is surprised by what Alucard just said. He continues the speech and talks about that creature. That model of construct is called anti-Nomen. And now Alucard will explain to Elian what anti-Nomens are and how to destroy them. An anti-Nomen is an invincible war machine, specifically created to chase a human or a half-blood until it kills the target. It's powered by blood, the essence and the true name of the target, which are placed inside the nucleus of the anti-Nomen. Elian remembers that Deus mentioned something about his true name. So Dracula sent the anti-Nomen against him. Now it all makes sense. Alucard confirms his thoughts. He knows that Dracula did this to him. Anti-Nomens always know the location of the target and all the information about it. In other words, the target can't escape, and technically not even win. Then Alucard tells Elian that there's only one way to stop the anti-Nomen. Destroy his core. It's almost impossible to do that alone, but Alucard will join his battle and will destroy the core from behind, while Elian will draw anti-Nomen's attention, since he aims only at the target. Meanwhile, the anti-Nomen arrives. Elian quickly jumps down the ruins and gets close to him. This time, the enemy has become faster and more aggressive. It almost seems like he felt the menace. Elian will have to buy some time. He must resist until Alucard has his chance. Elian must focus on eluding him. The battle begins. The enemy is getting stronger. The enemy is getting faster. More than 75% life points. Less than 75% life points. Less than 75% life points. The battle ends. Press Control to continue. Elian slowly moves in a circle until Anti-Nomen turns his back to Alucard. After a while, he swiftly leaps, and with his sword, he points directly to the core. But Anti-Nomen reacts in time. A metal plate comes out from his body and covers the exposed part. The sword bounces off it, and Alucard immediately jumps back. He tells Elian to lure the Anti-Nomen into the plains. He has another surprise for him. Elian nods and is ready to move. To the plains, wet ruins. Those are not plains. East. Alucard. The Anti-Nomen is even more enraged. For a moment he reacted to Alucard, but in no time he will move toward Elian. He must go to the plains. To the plains, west. The first ambush on Anti-Nomen failed. Elian rushes toward the plains and lures the Anti-Nomen towards him. Alucard is still among the ruins, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. He's preparing some special power. You have reached Plains, West. You quit. Game progress 99%. You're back in the map. Boulders. There's a boulder which resembles the structure of a portal, but the grass covered the road a long time ago. There's a wheat. Aside from their steps, only the wind and the rustle of wheat interrupts the silence. The sun gives a golden reflection to the wheat. Aside from there's a Anti to the ruins. Boulder to the ruins. Elian must stay here. He sees Alucard in the distance, preparing to do something. Elian must stay here. Anti-Nomen. Elian stops and turns around. Anti-Nomen almost reaches him, but something happens near the ruins. Alucard morphs into a silver wolf. With only a few steps, he covers many meters, and then with a leap, his claws are on Anti-Nomen's shoulders. He opens his jaws wide, and then they close on the metal plate which covers the core. Anti-Nomen can't shake Alucard off. Then he goes into a frenzy and violently aims towards Elian. Elian's ready. He must resist until Alucard can manage to bend the plate. This is the very last battle. The battle begins. Less than 75% life points. Less than 50% life points. than 75% life points. Less than 75% life points. Less than 50% life points. The battle ends. Elian resists for a very long time, and when he's starting to lose his strength, finally Alucard, with his majestic fangs, opens a breach in the plate. He immediately returns to normal and pierces the core with his sword. After some seconds, Nomen stops moving. They won! Elian can finally rest. He sits on the grass. He's very grateful to Alucard, but he still has some questions for him. He wants to talk. Actually, Alucard does as well. So he sits on the body of the Nomen. Elian wants to know what he was doing in the harbour village, and why he was here, ready to save him from the Nomen. Alucard tells Elian that centuries have passed since the last time someone ever saw an Nomen walk the surface of the earth. Only Dracula can boast a private army of Nomens, so he was surprised when he saw it happen again, recently. It's not like Alucard thought that Elian represented a menace to Dracula, but rather that he was impressed by the fact that he was still alive after fighting against him, and was still surviving despite even being chased by that Nomen. Then Elian asks him why he didn't help him before, if he already knew the situation and knows those details about Dracula. Alucard replies that he was observing him to test his value. If he didn't prove worthy, then he would have ignored him. Hearing that, Elian stands up and grabs him by the shirt, asking him if he considers him a guinea pig or something. Alucard remains indifferent and tells him that there's a reason. As Elian experienced with his body challenging Dracula is not a joke, and certainly not a game. People simply avoid that, and who dares to do it is destined to perish. In other words, who desires to defeat Dracula must be really ready for his mission, and, even more, must be ready to accept the consequences of failure. Alucard doesn't know Elian, but only one thing is sure. What counts the most when someone stands before Dracula is not his strength or words. What really counts is his resolve and will. Elian has already heard a sentence similar to the one that Alucard just said. So Alucard recognized his value and decided to help him. How he knows all that information, he tells him, is simply because he's Alucard, the son of the Lord of Darkness, Dracula, and his mission is stopping him forever. Elian is surprised to hear that. He asks him why his son should be against him, but he stops before finishing the sentence. Alucard says that he's not a vampire hunter. What he's doing is only in preparation for the final battle against his father, and he has no intention to explain his personal reasons for doing it. But in Elian he saw a potential ally. Together, they might be able to triumph against Dracula, so he tells him to consider his help against the Nomen as a gift to propose to Elian a formal request of alliance, an alliance signed for a common purpose. defeating Dracula. Saying that, Alucard holds out his hand towards Elian. He stares elsewhere for a moment. Everything that Alucard said makes sense. Moreover, a few moments before, Elian said something funny. He remembers about his father, and actually he can empathize with Alucard. They have more than one thing in common. Then Elian stares into Alucard's eyes and accepts the handshake. A new alliance is born. Now they depart from the plains, leaving alone the rest of a terrifying and unstoppable death machine, which are now just some metal scraps that peacefully rest in quiet, surrounded by the wheat and caressed by the wind. Elian and Alucard are directed toward the center of the nation. There's a lot to do. This is just the beginning of a new adventure. You have completed the game at 100%. Congratulations! The world of Hellhunter has no more mysteries for you. Did you know that it's actually possible to defeat Dracula at the beginning of the game? If you feel brave enough, you could attempt to win and unlock a secret ending. Hellhunter, Anti-Nomen. Move. New game. Load game. You have reached here. You quit game. Hell. New game. The story of Elian the Vampire. A modern pub frequented by young people. At the moment there's... You have glass bartender. Elian pay bag. In young guy. Young to the village. It's a calm place compared to most cities these days. You have to the village to the castle of Dracula. What Elian sees when he enters is a huge... You have statue main manticore. The battle begins. The battle ends. Elian gains 150 giant armor. The battle begins. The battle ends. Elian gains 200 experience. Stat dragon. The battle ends. Elian statue Dark Knight. The battle begins. The battle ends. Elian gains 300 experience points. Elian gets blood statue entrance door. There's no reason to turn to the library. Elian slays hordes of monsters along his... You have bookshelf 3. Bookshelf 3. This book... There's an empty book to book. Alone bookshelves. Action pile of book. Elian books to the throne. Bookshelf 1. Actually on bookshelf. Elian finds all bookshelf to the throne room. Elian's assault is overwhelming, and in the end he... You have The battle begins. Less than 25% life points. The battle ends. Elian gains 1 million experience points. Elian increases his experience level. Press Control to continue. After an impeccable performance, Elian stands before Dracula, who kneels exhausted and on the verge of death. The Lord of Darkness can't believe what happened. He tells Elian that he impressed him, but he's the incarnation of darkness, and that's not something that Elian can handle. Then he dissolves into ash. Elian is ready to celebrate, but before that moment, it suddenly gets dark. Countless eyes open from the walls, ceilings, and the floor of the room, and stare at him. A terrible choir of human voices and screams fills the room. With darkness, they gather around Elian. He doesn't know what's happening and can't react in any way. In no time, he brings his hands to his ears and, even faster, he can't help but scream out loud. Darkness and voices enter his body and mind by osmosis. Finally, even his soul is invaded. Suddenly, everything ends. An incredible silence takes over the place. Elian opens his eyes that are now red. Without saying a word, he goes toward the throne and sits. A new Lord of Darkness is born. Or maybe it's more accurate to say that Dracula has found a new and more suitable vessel in which to reincarnate. Hellhunter, Anti-Nomen. Move among the options in the main menu with the left and right arrow keys. Then press Control to select an option. Exit game.